burner, basically. It saves energy there too. So boilers' efficiency is changing. As they operate constantly, they have a better efficiency. So boilers are designed basically to operate constantly 24 hours. It's not a wise idea to shut down your boiler if you don't need it, because the amount of the time that you need to warm up your system and bring it back, for example, 8 hours later, it's not worth it. It's better to keep it running all the time. And if the boiler is designed good, if you are not using any water or steam out of that, usually it reduces its energy use to minimum anyway, because you're just only counting for the losses to the wall of the boiler to the environment, right? So it's important to keep the industrial boiler operating all the time. One of the things that you see in the boilers is there is always a leakage. No matter how perfect your system is, there is always water leaking somewhere. And this water in the middle somewhere, before it gets, hot, the steam is leaking and it's burning, and it's vaporizing and it's going through out of this tank. So naturally, this water must be compensated with the extra flow-down water here. So it's very important when you're auditing your boiler, you make sure that you can take any kind of a measurement in order to reduce this amount of the water that is being lost. There are a lot of times that there are leaky valves. Just change the leaky valves. Steam traps, they are leaking. Just make sure the steam traps are correct, they are not leaking. Because most of the time, what happens here is the water that you're boiling in a boiler is not a regular tap water. These are specific conditioned water with a specific chemical balance in it. And this water, when it is steamed, it's used somewhere and it becomes water again and it's used back to your system. This water is a very expensive water. You don't want to use it that often. As any gallon of that you're using it, you have to replace it. It has to come from a chemical lab and it has to be processed. Right, so you want to make sure that you don't lose those waters easily, basically. Burners are very important. There are many types of different burners. As you can see, the technology is changing. The computer industry helping the burner atomize the oil much better than before. And the operation of a burner is the most important factor in calculating the efficiency of the boiler, basically. That's why a lot of times it's worth, for example, if you have an old boiler, switch the burner, change the burner, buy a new burner for it, because the new burners, with advanced technology, they basically use less energy, less fuel to provide the same amount of heat. And it's all about combustion, basically. When you are dealing with compressed air in factories, just make sure that there is no leakage in compressed air line, your compressor is working correctly, you don't overcompensate for the pressure. If a factory needs a pressure of 3,000 psi, this is often I see also. And the technician, for some reason, say, you know what, I want to be safe, I'm going to set up the sensor at 3,500 psi, just to be sure. You know that 500 psi costs a lot of money for the company, because it's already a compressed air that you want to make it more compressed 500. The relationship is not linear, it's power of n, and n is 1.4 for air, right? So it's costing a lot of money. So if you need a 3,000 psi pressure, just make sure you have a 3,000 psi pressure, and that's enough. And the other thing is, no matter what, you always have leak. When the pressure increases, the leak increases. And when the leak increases, the amount of money that you're going to lose is a lot. Look at this simple case. This is, for example, look at this. This is a leakage of a 1/8 inches. A hole that is 1 inch diameter, 1/8 inches of the diameter. In a year, this is almost costing about $600. Just because one hole. That easily can be recovered. If you have 10 of these holes, you're talking about $10,000. And it's easy to have faults in compressed air systems, basically. But these pipes that are sitting for many years, insulation is very important. Make sure insulations are all over. So when you do energy auditing, you're walking in a factory, take pictures of the locations that insulation is broken. I always do that. I put it in my report. I pointed out these places insulation has to be changed. And keep in mind, as an energy auditor, you're not the person who is doing all of this work. You're the person who is recommending your work. Most energy auditors are one-man show business, or two people. They just come up with a list of recommendations, economical analysis, and it's up to that company to go hire the certified people to do all of these changes, according to the report, right? So in your report, you got to point out exactly everything with pictures, location, and everything. That's all I have. So I should stay on time.